I wanted a career where I could make as much money as possible while doing as little as humanly possible. So I became a landlord. But let me tell you, that turned out to be more work than I thought it would. So I found an easier way to do things, and I'm giving you 3 hacks to make your real estate investing career even easier and more profitable than you thought it ever could be. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm half of Two Guys Take on Real Estate. We have had thousands of rental property tenants over the years, and we share with you right here on our channel our experiences, our struggles, and our successes so that you can have an easier go of it as well. So make sure you take a second, hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you don't miss out on all the tips and tricks you need to have a successful career in the world of real estate investing. So the first tips I want to share with you is going to be about tenant screening. And in fact, that's actually why I'm here today. This is a rental property that we just selected a tenant on, and we're going to be renting out shortly. Now, tenant screening is one of the most important things you can do to make sure your real estate rental career works out. And the best thing I can tell you about screening a new tenant is have some requirements that you enforce equally to anybody that's looking to rent. The first thing was going to be about income. Have an income requirement. Now, in our case here, as what I found most people are doing nowadays, is we require our tenants to earn or have income of 3 times the rental amount. Now, let me know in the comments what you think about that, because I do hear people say, gosh, that's really unfair. How can you force somebody to have that much money as income? You know, that doesn't, it's unfair to people that make less than that. Yes and no. When we didn't have those kind of requirements, we had people that were making buying decisions that they had $1,500 a month of income and they're looking to rent a $1,200 or a $1,400 apartment. How in the world that's a good decision is beyond me, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to suffer the results of their poor buying decision. They're never going to be able to keep that situation going. They're overestimating their ability to pay the monthly expense, and they're going to suffer the consequences from that. But you suffer for it too as the property owner. So you're not only protecting them from making a bad decision when you have these requirements, you're protecting yourself from suffering the consequence of their poor choices and their spending. Have an income requirement, whatever you think makes the most sense, maybe for your market. But I think generally speaking, most people feel that it's 3 times the monthly rent. Now, hey, money isn't everything, right? Just because somebody can pay the bills doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a great tenant. I agree with that completely. That's why landlord references are really, really key and important. My biggest tip here is don't care about what their current landlord thinks about them. Find the landlord before that one, because the current landlord could, and it has bias and a reason to lie and not tell you the truth. They could be trying to lie to get rid of a nasty, terrible customer. Or they could be lying and sabotaging a great customer so that they don't lose them to you, a competitor. The landlord prior to that has no skin in the game at this point and is more likely to give you an honest answer. If your mind was blown by hack number 1, then you need to take a second and subscribe, because I know you didn't do it in the first part of this video. And we're gonna move on to hack number 2, the fun part, the part we're all doing this for, the part that puts money in your bank account: rent collections. So money from customers is not just going to magically show up in your bank accounts. We've used different software and programs. Some were better than others. But here's something that changed our landlord game and will change yours too: rent collection through BaseLane. Instead of juggling multiple apps or chasing checks, you just collect rent directly and in one place. BaseLane is banking with built-in bookkeeping, built for real estate investing. BaseLane automatically pings your tenants with reminders. No awkward, hey, have you paid yet conversations. And if they miss a deadline, it automatically applies late fees. No more bad guy. Even better, when that rent hits, it lands right in your property's dedicated BaseLane account. You can set automation rules that tag each transaction to the right property and tax category so that bookkeeping can happen automatically in the background for you. By tax time, everything's sorted with no manual spreadsheets. You can see exactly how each property performs, and that's how you scale up from being a good landlord to a great one. And for your tenants, well, BaseLane's got their backs too. On-time rent reporting to credit bureaus and flexible installment payments. You get paid up front, your tenants get flexibility. It's a win-win, and honestly, it's made our lives a lot easier. Now that you've earned some money from your qualified tenants, how do you plan on hanging on to it? Well, that's going to be hack number 3, and that is planning for maintenance and repairs. Did you know most landlords don't have $15,000 available when it comes time to put a roof on? Or when the heating system breaks in January, because they never break in June, they don't have the money to install a new furnace on the spot. Now, why is that? Well, it's because they didn't plan and anticipate these expenses. So the first thing you need to do about this is start budgeting with a tiny little percentage each month from incoming rents to make the necessary repairs that are going to come up. It's just a matter of when, and make sure you have that money available to handle resolving those issues. Now, it's important to plan for the long term, but what about the everyday kind of repairs that you're going to be dealing with? What about the wear and tear tenants put on a home simply by living in it? The important thing there is to make sure you're standardizing the equipment, the materials that you're using, and you're buying and using materials that are meant to be more on the durable side than the shiny, flashy, cosmetic side. So that could be a few different things. First of all, be consistent with the paint colors that you use. Especially if you use multiple properties, you want to use the same color paint throughout. This way you always have exactly the right shade of whatever color you're using when it comes time to patch a wall. You're not replacing and repainting the entire wall, you're just doing that small portion. Same thing with flooring materials. Be consistent in what you're using across your properties and throughout the property that you have. Make sure that you can just pull up and replace a portion of the floor and not have to do an entire living level of a property. This comes down to even the smaller things like hardware and light fixtures. Be consistent and use all the same styles of doorknobs, hardware, light fixtures throughout the properties. This way, whenever you need something, you don't have to worry about is there a store open, because you've got several of them sitting somewhere in a storage unit or a basement somewhere ready to go and ready for you to install. These things you can buy in larger quantities, getting you a better price. You're always going to have a replacement piece or part available when you need it, not always having to be at the mercy of if a store's open or if they have it in stock. And the last thing I want to mention on this is often tenants won't always report an issue when they see it, partly because maybe they're worried that they're going to get blamed for it. So setting up regular inspections of your home so you can catch a small problem before it turns into a big problem that costs a lot more for you to resolve. Well, this house is ready for its next family, and you're ready to become a great landlord thanks to the 3 hacks that we shared today. First one was screening for a great tenant. Second one was finding a great rent collection process like Base Lane. And the third, of course, anticipating and being ready for maintenance and repairs. I know you found this video helpful, so make sure you subscribed and take a second to drop a like and drop a comment letting me know what you think about some of the stuff we covered and some of the tips that you heard here today.